Hello, and welcome to Orion Spear Point. How are you doing? It's been a little bit since the last video. It's been a lot going on. A lot of different initiations going into it. And finally, we have some rain in the high desert of Durango. So it's been extremely hot. And fires. Actually, we had a couple of different fires break out and really just take off. So Um, time of purification, time of heat and drought. So seems to be the running themes and mirroring the energies pretty well. So I I felt this coming in, and there's definitely going to be another masculine initiation video, but I don't feel like that's this one. This is going to be a walk. Yeah, yeah, this is going to be nice. So this is going to be a walk through this is going to be a walk through some of the tender spots. So one of the things that has been very interesting last night and the night before that has been really active is um some peeling back the layers, so some shedding. And this is what I was kind of realizing. So initially I thought it was just the masculine collective, and I don't think it is. I think it's actually no, it's not. It's both. It's mirrored. So in the masculine collective, you have this point where it's like undoing the bandages. And in the feminine collective, it feels like this huge return to a lot of the points that weren't safe to be, and the second guessing within that. And so when this was activating and is activating, this is going to be fun because this is going to be the return of love. So, and the return of some very interesting energies. So I need to unravel something that was going through the masculine collective, and then we'll jump into the feminine stream. So within the masculine collective, what I thought was very interesting is that what I realized was every moment within my stream that I jumped out of my soul. So, like when you're in that point of presence, right? And you're continuing that walk and you're holding that connection to home. When I would jump out, I was looking at myself because, of course, there's habits, there's stuff coming up, there's trigger points, right? We don't need to be perfect. But when I was watching it and I was tracing it back, the thing I thought was most interesting was it was, yes, my mind to own, but also extremely collective and extremely old. And it was a question of safety. So this lack of feeling safe within your own body, but more than that, within how you step into the energies reflected into the entire stream of everything. So leading into this, I mean, you can see the videos, it's been all this play and this return to play and dancing into it. And as we go through that, there is this kind of like coming of age of how you have the innocence of the child meeting the wisdom of the elder, and that marriage where that merge where you don't lose the exuberant sense of play from the child with the return to form of the wisdom of the elder without the jaded um, outlook as time passes. So, in this, as this continues, so you have that return to play that's hitting both collectives, right? This opportunity, this outstretched hand to go into the monkey bars of all the energy into the collective streams, dancing in love, dancing with the all these energies as we continue to come into form. And with that, what was revealed is this point of safety. So my words that I often say is like shine bright, right? Those are the ones that came from my heart long ago, and that was the thing that I always spoke to my heart. So shine bright, never dim yourself down, just shine as bright as you are, as bright as your heart can be. That statement was what was shown in my face, and it was the lack of safety. So what's active is that feeling, that return to the fall of everything. So the fall of, I guess you can say, humanity, but it's more than that. And it's in that energy that you can feel the lack of safety running through the collective streams all the way back to that point where we've had to compromise, we've had to do this, that's not feeling safe to be. And the actual hesitation to shine. And this is how it felt. And it really actually hurt. Well, it was a very soft and raw and sore point within my heart, feeling the feminine collective as it was this point of when you shine, you get attacked. And so that was feeling that and the lack of safety. And so as we continue to play, this is the point that's hit. Is it safe to play? Are you safe within your own stream? And I think this is hitting both collectives. Obviously, it's digested and it's walked and embodied in their own respective ways that is unique to each frequency of energy, masculine and feminine. But this return to safe, no, that's not return to safety. It's actually this establishment in the fortitude in the energies and knowing that planting your foot in the heart of love stabilizes. And more than that, it ignites. Because it's not saying, and of course, I mean, we'll bring it back to physical reality. If ever you feel like you're not safe or it's in danger or X, Y, and Z, follow your guidance, make sure that you take care of yourself. But going into the deep energies and seeing how this connects to everything, it's actually looking at it and knowing that it's establishing that connection into the pure energies, but it's more than that because it's the stability point that blossoms, that actually unravels all the collective compromises. Can you feel that? Can you feel the weight of that throughout all that, all the way back to the fall? And knowing that those moments of all the lead up to now, every moment where you've had to put on armor, where you've had to do this, where you've had to be a little bit more hard edged, and was necessary to get to here and to not to criticize, to actually fill it with gratitude, but actually witnessing that and this immense celebration of this moment, of this time, because now you have the chance to step in and establish that you're held in the safety of love itself in the arms of your expression, and how this all ignites into form. In the past, wherever may have been, we could have been knocking on the doorstep of establishing these energies. The big collective system was, in some ways the forerunners of all that energy, and it could have been easy pickings because you're one blade of grass in a field of weeds. It's not the case anymore. And this is seeing how much support is available and unraveling and just acknowledging the fact that you, in those moments where you want to step out of that connection to your soul, or that connection of holding presence, of establishing that sight straight to source, just acknowledging that when those feelings come up that you don't feel safe, that is a beautiful starting point, because it starts to give a voice to those places that don't that cry out, that need a voice, that need your love, that need that unraveling and transmutation through the ancestral line of, or even your soul stream through your past lives of things you've been carrying from other lifetimes as this all ignites. And also, this is such a mirror point to the fall with the masculine and the feminine, like the masculine being targeted and destroyed, and the feminine being targeted and pillaged and raped and abused. And seeing the two energy systems, and there's good reason not to feel safe. The more you touch into that really fine-tuned energy, as the more you continue to shine, there's right reasons why you could feel that. And it's not discrediting it, but it's also seeing it and establishing that connection to source that sees the whole from the mountaintop, from the treetops, that through that expression, you've made it here. The worst of the worst, imaginable density energies. And you've made it. And that's the energy that we're connecting into and establishing that and bringing that back in and then connecting it into that. And then you get to sit, your energy gets to sit on something. And then it's that establishment, and then it will come up. Like I've just realized, just being frank and vulnerable in this moment, it's just like you can feel those moments where your system wants to step out. It can't hold the energy, X, Y, and Z, or maybe it is because it doesn't feel safe in that moment to continue to hold that energy. And it could be my own internal safety. So that could be, and the actual internal energy structures within your body could not be able to hold that amount of energy for that long periods of time as you establish that connection straight to home, to source, to love, to your soul, and hold that presence, because the intensity starts to rise as you become that real strong pillar point in the face of the reality that we're currently living in. And that's okay. It's just giving a voice to that, and then also realizing what you're dancing in, and then that return to form with the love that seeps in, coats like maple syrup on the heart that has those soft, delicate spots. And it really is that love that soothes that. And the explosion of joy in the play meeting the wisdom of the ages all the way to the fall. This union explodes into form. So it's a wise, enticing joy, not unhinged or ungrounded. And this establishment really does ignite the adventure as this continues and we establish more and more in that. And it magnetizes the two energy streams too, because the more you activate this and the more you heal this real threshold. How it appears to me right now is the threshold. This is the threshold because it's mirroring so much to so many different energies, and it's like crossing the abyss point into that point where it is kind of like, I never felt safe before X, Y, and Z. I might have been burned at the stake. I might have been really, really targeted. I could have been blown up and destroyed for trying to hold love and presence. And seeing that and walking through it and just giving it a voice and acknowledging it and then continuing through is this amazing point of establishing that it's just acknowledging it, establishing it, and then the activation swoops in and the love can coat as you strengthen your connection in every moment. And in that, the two energy streams, masculine and feminine counterparts, they start to magnetize because it's this return and what's the right word? Maturity There it is. That's the maturity in it. Because you have this before, when I was touching into these energies, it felt that like explosion of joy, but it's a little unhinged. But now merging it to that wise and grounded in the purity of it all without losing how fun it all is. And reestablishing it softens, and you're able to transmute lifetimes of structures built in that were important and protective mechanisms. It's very, very exciting times. So, in this time, I give you a lot of love from my heart and a big dance in the energies and the adventure and a big hug as we continue in this process of so much adventure and this whole unfoldment of being more than that. And with that being said, there is sessions available if you want to work on this specific point to do with safety, to do with going back in time, or just parts that don't feel like you can hold your presence in every single moment. We can go through that and unravel it and establish that. And continue and reinstate some sense of play too. So, with that, I will leave it here. And on this nice night in between rainstorms in the high desert, shine bright and wisely, rooted in the joy of your very breath. Take care.